The arrow punches through Scarlett's shoulder with a wet thunk, spinning her sideways into the snow. She doesn't scream. Can't afford to. The assassins are too close, their boots crunching through the frozen crust behind her. Blood blooms across her dress, dark and fast. The world tilts as she stumbles forward, one hand pressed against the wound, the other clutching the leather satchel that got her into this mess in the first place. Her breath comes in ragged gasps, each one sending fire through her chest. The caravan is gone. All 12 merchants, including her father, dead in the first volley of arrows. She'd only survived because she'd been checking the horses when the attack began, had run without thinking, without looking back at the flames consuming the wagons. Another arrow whistles past her ear. Scarlett lurches sideways, her boots sliding on ice. The blizzard is getting worse, snow slashing at her face like tiny knives. She can barely see 3 feet ahead. Good. If she can't see them, maybe they can't see her either. Her foot catches on something, and she goes down hard, slamming into the snow. Pain explodes through her injured shoulder. Black spots dance across her vision. She rolls onto her back, gasping, expecting to see assassins standing over her with drawn blades. Instead, she sees what tripped her. A body. A man, half buried in the snow. His skin so pale it's almost translucent. Frost clings to his dark hair, his lips blue with cold. He's wearing clothes that look ancient, the kind you see in history books. Ornate black fabric embroidered with silver thread, now torn and stained with something that might be blood. Dead, she thinks. Been here for days, maybe weeks. Then his eyes snap open. Black. Completely black, like staring into a void. No iris, no white, just endless darkness that seems to swallow light. Scarlett's scream catches in her throat. The man's lips move. His voice is barely a whisper, rough as gravel. Finally. Before Scarlett can scramble away, shouts echo through the storm. The assassins have found her. 3 of them materialize from the blizzard, weapons drawn. The leader, a woman with a scarred face, smiles coldly. End of the line, truth seer. Our employer wants you alive, but he didn't specify in how many pieces. The man in the snow moves. One moment he's lying there, seemingly dead. The next he's on his feet, swaying but upright. Steam rises from his skin as if he's burning from the inside out. The assassins freeze. The leader's smile falters. "Run," the man says to Scarlett, his void black eyes never leaving the assassins. He moves like liquid shadow, impossibly fast despite his obvious weakness. His hand catches the first assassin by the throat, and there's a sickening crack. The second assassin lunges with the dagger, but the man twists, impossibly graceful, and the blade passes through empty air. His fist connects with the assassin's chest with enough force to send the man flying backward into the snow. The leader backs away, fear finally breaking through her professional mask. She raises her crossbow. The man staggers. Scarlett sees why now. Silver chains are embedded in his flesh, wrapped around his torso, his arms, burning into his skin with each movement. The wounds smoke in the cold air, the smell of seared flesh mixing with the scent of blood. The crossbow bolt takes him in the chest. He drops to one knee, coughing. Dark blood, almost black, spills from his mouth. The leader advances, loading another bolt. "I don't know what you are, but you're..." Scarlett doesn't think. She grabs a rock half buried in the snow and hurls it with all her remaining strength. It catches the assassin in the temple. The woman goes down. The man looks at Scarlett, surprise flickering across his inhuman features. Then his eyes roll back, and he collapses face first into the snow. Her heart hammers against her ribs. She should run, leave him, save herself. But he saved her first. The other assassins are stirring. Scarlett spots movement in the storm, more shapes approaching, reinforcements. Her eyes land on a dark opening in the cliff face 20 yards away. A cave maybe. Shelter at least. She hooks her good arm under the man's shoulder and drags. He's heavy, all muscle and dead weight. Her injured shoulder screams in protest. Blood runs down her arm, dripping into the snow, but she doesn't stop. Can't stop. The cave mouth swallows them both.
Darkness. Cold. The familiar companions of 400 years. But something's different this time. There's warmth beside me, a heartbeat, the scent of blood and winter roses, and something I can't name, but desperately need. She's here. She brought me inside. I don't understand. Can't comprehend why this human would risk everything for a dying monster in the snow. My body is broken. Silver still burning through my veins like liquid fire. Every breath is agony. Every moment of consciousness a battle I'm losing. But she's here. I feel her hands on my chest, removing the chains, link by link. Each one she cuts away takes a piece of the curse with it. The pain lessens. My flesh begins to knit, slowly and possibly. After 400 years of suffering, healing feels like a dream I don't deserve. Her fingers are gentle, careful. She murmurs to herself as she works, words of comfort, of determination. She's terrified. I can smell her fear mixing with the blood from her wound, but her hands don't shake. Who is this woman? The last human I trusted betrayed me, helped bind me in silver, and left me to an eternity of frozen torture. I swore I'd never trust again, never open myself to that kind of pain. Yet here I am, helpless in the dark, completely at her mercy. She could drive silver through my heart right now and end me. Part of me wishes she would, but a deeper part, buried under centuries of rage and isolation, whispers something different. Stay. The word forms in my mind like a prayer, like a plea I have no right to make. Please stay. Her hand touches my face, checking for fever. The gesture is so tender, it breaks something inside me I thought was already destroyed. I'm not ready to be alone again.
Hey, it's Katie. Quick pause before part 2. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe so I can keep creating these stories for you. And drop a comment with what you'd like me to write next. Now, let's continue. Inside, the temperature drops even further. The cave extends back into darkness, but near the entrance, there's just enough filtered light to see by. Scarlet drags the man as far back as she dares, then collapses beside him, her entire body shaking. Outside, she hears shouts, footsteps crunching in the snow. Where did they go? Search the area, they can't have gotten far, not with their wounds. Scarlet holds her breath, pressing herself against the ice-cold wall. The man beside her doesn't move, doesn't breathe. If not for the faint pulse she can feel when her hand presses against his neck, she'd think him dead. Minutes pass. Hours, maybe. Scarlet's sense of time blurs. The voices outside fade. The assassins move on, searching elsewhere. When silence finally settles, Scarlet allows herself to breathe again. She fumbles in her satchel with numb fingers, finding her small medical kit by touch. Her father had insisted she carry it, always. The memory of his face, smiling as he handed it to her that morning, threatens to break her. Not now. Grieve later. Survive now. She turns her attention to the man. Up close, she can see the true horror of his injuries. The silver chains aren't just wrapped around him, they're embedded in his flesh, sunk into muscle and bone. The wounds where the metal touches his skin are burned black, still smoking faintly. Her grandmother's voice echoes in her memory, singing old songs about the fair folk and the night walkers, about the creatures that burned at the touch of silver. What are you? she whispers. The man doesn't answer. Scarlet sets to work. She has wire cutters in her kit, meant for snares and traps. They barely make a dent in the silver chains, but she perseveres, cutting through link by link. Each time she removes a section of chain, the man's body shudders. The wounds beneath begin to close, slowly, impossibly. He's healing, in real time, right before her eyes. Definitely not human. As she removes the last chain from his torso, something changes. The man's skin begins to darken with what looks like ink spreading beneath the surface. Not tattoos. These marks are alive, moving, forming intricate patterns that writhe across his chest, his arms, his neck. The symbols are beautiful and terrifying, geometric patterns interwoven with flowing script in a language Scarlet doesn't recognize. The cave responds. Light blooms along the walls, the same symbols appearing in the ice, glowing with soft blue luminescence. The temperature rises, just slightly, but enough that Scarlet stops shivering quite so violently. "What is this place?" she breathes. The man's eyes snap open again, black, fathomless, but aware now, alert. He sits up in one fluid motion, those void eyes fixing on her with an intensity that steals her breath. "You removed the silver," he says. His voice is stronger now, resonant. It seems to echo off the cave walls, even though he speaks softly. "Why?" "You saved me," Scarlet said simply. "I'm returning the favor." He tilts his head, studying her. Steam still rises from his wounds, but they're closing faster now, the flesh knitting together. "You're injured. I'll live. Let me see." Before Scarlet can protest, he's moved closer. His fingers are gentle as they peel back the torn fabric of her dress, exposing the arrowhead in her shoulder. His touch is cold, but not unpleasantly so, like pressing against stone that's been in shadow all day. The arrow's still inside. "This will hurt." "Wait, what are you—" His fingers dig into her shoulder. Scarlet bites down on her scream as he works the arrowhead free with practiced efficiency. Then his palm presses against the wound, and warmth floods through her. Not the burning heat of infection, but something cleaner, brighter. The pain recedes, like a wave pulling back from shore. When he removes his hand, the wound has closed. Not completely healed, but no longer bleeding, the flesh knitted together enough that she's not in immediate danger. "How?" Scarlet whispers. "Life essence," he says, as if that explains anything. He sits back, studying her face in the strange blue light. "You're not fully human." "Excuse me?" "Your scent." He breathes in deeply. "Winter roses and something else. Something I haven't smelled in—" He trails off, his expression shifting to something like pain. "Who sent you?" "Sent me? No one sent me. I was fleeing assassins when I literally tripped over you in the snow." His black eyes narrow. "Assassins don't chase merchants' daughters through blizzards." "They do when the merchant's daughter can see truth through touch," Scarlet snaps. "When she's being dragged to marry some lord who wants to use her gift to expose his enemies." The man goes very still. "Truth sight," he says slowly. "Impossible. The truth-seer line died with—" He stops, really looks at her. Then his head snaps toward the cave walls, seeing the glowing symbols as if for the first time. "No," he breathes. He stands abruptly, staggers, catches himself against the wall. The symbols pulse brighter at his touch. The ice begins to melt. Not slowly, not gradually. One moment the cave walls are frozen solid. The next, water is streaming down the surfaces, revealing what lies beneath. Obsidian, black stone carved with more of those flowing symbols. ancient tapestries that somehow haven't decayed despite clearly being hundreds of years old. And at the far end of the cave, no, not a cave, a room, a throne room, something embedded in ice. A crown, black metal set with stones that gleam like captured starlight. "Oh gods," the man whispers. "This place, I know this place." Scarlet struggles to her feet. "What is this? What's happening?" He turns to her, and the look on his face is devastated, lost. "My name is Fritz Del Mastro, and I was supposed to stay dead." Chapter 1. Scarlet stares at the man, at Fritz, trying to reconcile the powerful being who just healed her with the broken, dying creature she'd found in the snow. Dead? You were dead? As good as. Fritz moves toward the crown, his steps unsteady. The black marks on his skin pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat, or maybe with the symbols in the walls. It's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. 400 years. 400 years bound in silver, left in the eternal snow to ensure I'd never heal, never wake, never... He reaches out, hesitates just before touching the crown. His hand trembles. 400 years? Scarlet's mind reels. That's not possible. No one lives that long. Humans don't, Fritz says, but the Sangui do, especially those of royal blood. Sangui? What you would call vampires, though we were never the undead monsters of your stories. He glances back at her, his black eyes unreadable. We're an ancient race, as alive as you. We simply learned to manipulate life essence, to share blood bonds that extend our years. Scarlet thinks of her grandmother's songs, the old tales of the night walkers who ruled alongside humans before the fracturing. She'd always thought them fairy stories. The fracturing, she says slowly, the war that destroyed the old kingdoms, that was real? Very real. Fritz's jaw tightens. And I was supposed to prevent it. Instead, He touches the crown. The ice shatters. Power explodes outward in a wave that knocks Scarlet to her knees. The air crackles with energy, and the symbols on every surface blaze so bright she has to shield her eyes. Fritz's body arcs backward, his mouth open in a silent scream. The crown rises from its pedestal, floating, spinning. Then it settles onto Fritz's head. The transformation is instantaneous and terrifying. The wounds on his body seal completely. His skin seems to shimmer, gaining color and warmth. The black marks spread further, covering his neck, his face, framing his eyes in geometric patterns that make him look both human and impossibly otherworldly. Authority rolls off him in waves, ancient and absolute. This is not the dying creature from the snow. This is something else entirely. Something royal. Something dangerous. Fritz drops to his knees, breathing hard. When he looks up at Scarlet, his eyes have changed. Still black, but shot through with veins of silver that catch the light. "The crown recognizes me," he says, voice rough with emotion. After all this time, the magic still knows its king. Scarlet should be terrified. Every instinct screams at her to run, but she finds herself moving closer instead, drawn by something she can't name. "What happened to you? Who did this?" Fritz laughs, the sound bitter and broken. "My brother and my betrothed. On the night of my coronation, they poisoned me with something that should have killed even my kind. When I didn't die fast enough, they bound me with silver and left me in the eternal snow, knowing I'd never heal from silver wounds without help." "But there was a failsafe," Scarlet says, understanding dawning. "The old magic." He nods. "A true-hearted truth-seer could break the binding. But my brother made sure every truth seer was hunted down and killed. The bloodline was supposed to be extinct. Except it wasn't, Scarlet says. She thinks of her grandmother, the way people would whisper when she passed, the way she'd lived at the edge of the village, never quite welcome. My grandmother, she always said we came from old blood. Fritz rises, moving toward her with predatory grace. He stops just inches away, close enough that Scarlet can feel the cold radiating from his body. Your grandmother wasn't human, he says. She was sanguis, a truth-seer who escaped the purge. That would make me half sanguis? Which shouldn't be possible. Fritz reaches out, hesitates. The gifts don't pass through human blood. They're carried through blood bonds, deliberately formed. Unless... His eyes widen. Your grandmother was pregnant when she fled. She must have already formed a blood bond with your parent in the womb, passed her essence to them before birth. That's ancient magic, forbidden magic. The cost would have been enormous. She died when I was young, Scarlet whispers. She always seemed tired, like she was fading. Blood bonds can be broken, but they take part of you when they go. Fritz's voice softens. She sacrificed her own life to ensure the truth-seer gift survived, that her line would continue, even hidden among humans. Scarlet feels tears prick her eyes, but blinks them away. So what now? You're awake? The throne recognizes you? What does that mean? Fritz returns to the crown, touches it with reverent fingers. The moment his skin makes contact, his entire body goes rigid. Power floods through him, visible as light racing beneath his skin. The marks on his body glow brilliant white, then fade back to black, but darker now, more defined. When he turns back to her, he looks more substantial somehow, more real, as if he'd been a sketch and is now fully rendered in vivid detail. It means 400 years of stored life essence just became mine to command, he says. The transformation in his voice is dramatic. The weakness is gone, replaced with strength and certainty. It means the old magic recognizes my claim to the throne, and it means... He looks at her and his expression shifts to something almost vulnerable. I've been alone in darkness for 400 years. Don't let me frighten you. Scarlet should step back, should put distance between them. Instead, she finds herself leaning into his touch. I'm not frightened. You should be, but his thumbs trace gentle circles on her cheeks, contradicting his words. I'm not the man I was before. I don't know what 4 centuries of isolation have made me, what I'm capable of. You protected me, even half dead and bound in silver. You fought to save me. That tells me everything I need to know. Fritz's expression shifts, something breaking open in his eyes. He leans closer, his forehead nearly touching hers. Scarlet, The cave entrance explodes inward. Fritz moves so fast he's a blur, putting himself between Scarlet and the new threat. His body tenses, ready to fight, to kill if necessary. But the figures that pour through the shattered entrance aren't assassins. They're sanguis. Scarlet can tell now that she knows what to look for. The inhuman grace, the predatory way they move, the slight shimmer to their skin that suggests something other. 6 of them, all dressed in dark traveling clothes, all armed, and all dropping to one knee the moment they see Fritz. "My king," they say in unison. Fritz goes very still. "How did you find me?" The lead vampire, a man with silver streaks in his black hair, looks up. His face is scarred, his eyes weary. "We felt the throne awaken, sire. The blood oath you made as crown prince has been calling to us for days, growing stronger with each hour. We came as fast as we could." "Blood oath," Fritz says slowly. "The binding I made to every sanguis of royal blood when I accepted my father's crown. I'd forgotten." "It never forgot you, Majesty." The man's gaze shifts to Scarlet, and his expression hardens. "And who is this human who dares—" "She is no mere human," Fritz's voice cracks like a whip. "She is truth-seer born. She freed me from my bondage. She is under my protection." A woman with silver hair steps forward, her face pale. "Truth-seer born?" Her eyes go wide. "Then the prophecy—" "No, sire, you don't understand what's happened while you slept. Tell me." The woman, Lady Cassiel, Scarlet learns her name is, exchanges glances with her companions. "Your brother declared himself eternal king. He spread the story that you were corrupted by dark magic, that you tried to destroy the kingdom and had to be stopped. He's ruled for 400 years, sire, and he's married to your former betrothed. Together, they've held power through fear and absolute control." Fritz's hands curl into fists. "Elena is still alive? She's ruled beside him all this time?" Cassiel's voice drops. "And sire, there's more. They passed a law 300 years ago. Any truth-seer found must be executed on sight, for they could reveal the truth of Darius's claim to the throne." "Executed?" Scarlet whispers. The pieces click into place. The assassins who attacked her caravan, the lord who wanted to marry her, use her gift for his own ends, they all feared what she represented. Fritz turns to her, his face a mask of cold fury that softens when he meets her eyes. "They've been hunting you, all the truth-seers, for centuries. My grandmother must have known. That's why she hid, why she warned my mother to never tell anyone about our gift." "Where is my kingdom?" Fritz asks, turning back to his people. "Where is the throne?" "In ruins, sire," Cassiel says, "split into warring courts. Darius controls the capital and the old territories, but there are those who never believed the story, who kept the old ways alive in secret. If you truly live, if you've awakened—" She straightens. "The blood oath will call them home. All of royal blood who swore to you will feel the pull. They'll come." "How many?" "Hundreds, maybe thousands. It's been 400 years, sire. Many are old enough to remember you, but many were born after. The younger generations only know Darius's rule." Fritz looks at the crown in his hands, as if seeing it for the first time. Then he looks at Scarlet. "This is what you've awakened," he says softly. "Not just me. A war. The kingdom will tear itself apart when word spreads that I live. Then we stop Darius before that happens," Scarlet says with more confidence than she feels. "We?" Fritz raises an eyebrow. "Scarlet, this isn't your fight. You've done enough, more than enough. Let me get you to safety, somewhere Darius can't reach you, and then—" "And then what? You go to face your brother alone?" Scarlet steps forward, meeting his eyes steadily. "I didn't pull silver chains from your flesh just to have you run off and get yourself killed. I'm a truth-seer, remember? Apparently that's what truth-seers do, stand beside sanguis rulers." "That was before," Fritz says. "Things are different now." "Are they?" "I can feel something building in my chest, a certainty that defies logic. You said the old magic created a bond between us, that I'm yours to protect. Does that bond only work one way?" Fritz stares at her. Then slowly a smile curves his lips. It transforms his face, making him look younger, less haunted. "No," he says, "it doesn't." "Then stop trying to protect me from my own choices." Scarlet holds out her hand. "Let's go finish what your brother started 400 years ago." Fritz takes her hand. His grip is strong, steady, and impossibly cold.
You have no idea what you're agreeing to. I'm starting to figure it out. Cassiel clears her throat. Sire, if we're going to move, we need to do it now. Darius will have felt the throne awaken. He'll be gathering his forces. Then we won't make him wait. Fritz places the crown back on his head. It settles as if it belongs there, as if it was made for him and no other. Take us to the capital, to what remains of my father's kingdom. It's 3 days' journey on foot, sire. Then it's fortunate we're not traveling on foot. Fritz pulls Scarlet closer. Have you ever shadow walked? Shadow walked? Hold tight, he says. This will feel strange. The world dissolves.
I've been alone for 400 years. 4 centuries of darkness, of silver burning into my flesh, of endless cold that even death couldn't end. 400 years of isolation so complete that I forgot what voices sounded like, what warmth felt like, what it meant to feel anything but rage and pain. And then she stumbled over me in the snow. I remember opening my eyes, seeing a human above me, blood streaming from her shoulder, terror in her face. I remember thinking, finally I'll die. Show run, the assassins will find me, and this nightmare will end. But she didn't run. Even now, standing in this revealed throne room, with the crown's power flooding through me, I can't understand why. She was injured, fleeing for her life, had every reason to leave me where I lay. Instead, she dragged me to safety, caught the silver from my flesh with her own hands, not knowing if I'd wake and kill her for the trouble. I watch her now as she speaks with Cassio, negotiating for supplies we'll need for the journey ahead. She doesn't realize how extraordinary she is, how the mere act of removing those chains broke a curse that should have been unbreakable, how her compassion shattered 400 years of carefully constructed isolation. The truth-seer gift flows through her now, awakening slowly. I can feel it through our blood bond, a connection I didn't intend to forge but can't regret. She sees too much already. Soon she'll see everything. All the lies, all the betrayals, all the ugly truths buried under centuries of deception, including mine. She doesn't know yet what I was before the betrayal, the mistakes I made, the people I failed to protect. My father gave me the crown because I was his eldest son, not because I deserved it. Darius knew it. Elena knew it. Maybe that's why they found it so easy to betray me. But when Alara looks at me, she doesn't see my failures. She sees someone worth saving, someone worth bleeding for, someone worth binding herself to for eternity, even though she barely knows me. It terrifies me. I've lived over 400 years, and I've never felt this vulnerable. When I was dying in the snow, I had nothing left to lose. Now I have everything to lose. This woman who smells of winter roses and speaks truth without fear. This impossible, half-sanguis truth-seer who doesn't exist but does. This human who makes me remember what it felt like to want to be better. She laughs at something Cassiel says, and the sound cuts through me like silver. But this burn is different. This one I'd endure forever. I'm not the man I was before. 400 years of isolation changed me in ways I'm only beginning to understand. I'm harder now, colder. The rage that sustained me through centuries of silver and snow doesn't simply disappear because the chains are gone. But when she looks at me with those steady eyes, when she touches my face without fear, when she speaks my name like it means something, I remember what I was supposed to become. The king my father believed I could be. The man who ruled with wisdom instead of fear. The leader who saw humans and Sanguis as partners, not as rulers and subjects. She makes me want to be that man. I don't know if I can. 400 years is a long time to carry rage and pain. The crown gives me power, but it can't give me back what I lost. It can't undo the betrayal, or resurrect the dead, or erase the mistakes I made. But maybe, with her beside me, I can build something new. Maybe that's enough. She turns and catches me watching her, smiles. That smile could melt the eternal snow. Just breathe and be, she said to me in the cave, her grandmother's words now a gift passed to me. For the first time in 400 years, I think I can.
Chapter 2. Cold. That's Scarlett's first thought as reality shifts around her. Not the cold of winter wind or snow, but something deeper, colder. The cold of places that have never known sun. She's moving through water, except it's not water. It's shadow made liquid, pressing against her skin, trying to seep into her mouth and nose. She can't breathe, can't see. There's only darkness and the pressure of something vast and hungry. Just when she thinks her lungs will burst, the world snaps back into focus. Scarlett stumbles, would have fallen if not for Fritz's arm around her waist. She gasps for air, her heart hammering. Easy, Fritz says. The shadow paths aren't meant for those with human blood. You did better than most. Scarlett looks around, trying to orient herself. They're no longer in the cave. Instead, they stand in what looks like the ruins of a grand hall. Obsidian pillars stretch toward a ceiling that's partially collapsed, letting in weak sunlight. Snow has drifted through the gaps, covering marble floors in white. The other vampires appear moments later, materializing from shadows, one by one. Where are we? Scarlett asks when she's caught her breath. The old capital, Fritz says. His voice is flat, emotionless, but Scarlett can feel the pain radiating from him. What's left of it? He walks forward, and Scarlett follows. As her eyes adjust, she sees more of the devastation. Tapestries rotted to fragments, furniture smashed, walls blackened by fire. This place wasn't just abandoned, it was destroyed. Purposefully, thoroughly destroyed. This was the throne room, Fritz says quietly. He stops before a raised dais where a massive throne once stood. Only broken stone remains now, the pieces scattered across the floor. My father sat here, and his father before him. 1,000 years of rule ended in one night of betrayal. Scarlett wants to say something comforting, but what words could possibly be adequate? Fritz kneels, picking up a piece of broken stone. His hands shake, just slightly. I keep thinking I wake up, that this is another fever dream in the snow, and I'll open my eyes to find 400 years haven't actually passed. Your Majesty, Cassiel approaches cautiously. We should move to shelter. Darius's patrols. Let them come, Fritz says, dropping the stone. In fact, send word. Tell my brother I'm here. Tell him I'm waiting. Sire, that's suicide. We're 6 vampires against his entire army. 6 vampires and the rightful king, Fritz says.
His eyes blaze with cold fire. And a truth seer. Don't forget, the truth seer. As if summoned by his words, shapes begin to emerge from the ruins. Not enemies, Scarlet realizes after a heart-stopping moment of panic. More vampires, dozens of them, appearing from hiding places in the rubble. They look shocked, hopeful, afraid. The blood oath. They're already coming, Cassiel breathes. An old vampire, his hair white as snow, steps forward. He stares at Fritz as if seeing a ghost. Prince Fritz, is it truly you? I am no prince, Fritz says. Not anymore. He touches the crown on his head. I am king, as I should have been 400 years ago. The old vampire drops to his knees. Around him, others follow suit. Within moments, dozens of vampires are kneeling in the snow-covered ruins, heads bowed. We waited, some of us. We never believed Darius's lies. We knew you'd return. Then rise, all of you. If you've come to me, then you've chosen your side in what's coming. There will be no kneeling, no subjects and rulers, only those willing to fight for the truth. They rise, uncertain but hopeful. Scarlet can see it in their faces, the desperate need to believe that things can be different, that 400 years of fear and oppression might finally end. More vampires arrive throughout the day, trickling in ones and twos. Some are ancient, old enough to have known Fritz before his betrayal. Others are young, drawn by the blood oath they don't fully understand but can't resist. By nightfall, nearly 200 vampires fill the ruins. And then Darius arrives. She feels him before she sees him, a pressure in the air, a weight that makes it hard to breathe. The assembled vampires go silent, turning toward the main entrance. Darius Del Mastro walks through the shattered doors like a king touring his domain. He's flanked by an army, hundreds of vampires in dark armor, but it's the woman beside him that makes Fritz go rigid. Elena is beautiful, inhumanly so, with hair like spun gold and eyes the color of ice. She wears a crown to match Darius's and moves with the confidence of someone who's ruled for centuries. Darius himself could be Fritz's twin, the same sharp features, the same powerful build, but where Fritz's eyes hold warmth beneath the darkness, Darius's are cold, empty, cruel. Brother, Darius says, his voice carrying across the ruined hall, you should have stayed buried. I would have, if not for your sloppy assassins. 400 years, Darius. That's how long you've held what's mine.
Yours? Darius laughs. You were weak, brother. Father chose you because you were the elder, but I was always the stronger. I built something greater than his pathetic kingdom. We don't share power with humans anymore. We take what we need. You built it on lies. Fritz's voice drops, becomes something deadly. On stolen authority and the murder of innocent truthseers. I know what you did, Darius. The question is, will you confess, or will I let my truthseer reveal you? Darius' eyes find Scarlet for the first time. She fights the urge to step back from the malice in his gaze. Your truthseer? You mean this half-breed mongrel? Elena steps forward, her laugh like broken glass. Fritz, you always were sentimental. She's not even fully awakened. She doesn't know what she is, what she's capable of. And you've bound yourself to her? How disappointingly predictable. Elena, Fritz's voice cracks on her name. Did he force you? Were you compelled? Something flickers in Elena's perfect features. Fear, maybe, or regret. But it's gone in an instant, replaced by cold amusement. Force me?
Oh, Fritz, still so naive. I chose this. I chose him. You were always too soft, too concerned with humans and their pathetic lives. Darius understood what we could become. Fritz's hands curl into fists. Scarlet can feel the rage rolling off him in waves, hot despite his cold skin. Then you both will face justice for your crimes. Justice? Darius spreads his arms. Look around you, brother. I have an army. You have a handful of traitors and a girl who doesn't even know what she is. This isn't a fight. It's an execution. He moves. One moment Darius is standing at the entrance, the next he's across the hall, his hand wrapped around Fritz's throat. The speed is impossible, inhuman, beyond even what Scarlet has seen from other vampires. Fritz blocks, but barely. They clash with the sound of thunder, their bodies blurring with speed. The gathered vampires scatter, clearing space as the two brothers tear into each other with savage fury. Elena glides toward Scarlet with deadly grace. Your protector is occupied, she says, her smile sharp, which means you're mine. Scarlet backs away, but Elena is faster. Her hand catches Scarlet's wrist, and pain explodes up her arm. Elena's strength is crushing, inhuman. Did Fritz tell you about truth seers? About what we were to them? We were partners, consorts, queens. But that requires being fully awakened, and you, poor child, are only half-formed, a waste of ancient blood. Scarlet struggles, but it's like fighting stone. Elena's grip doesn't budge. Then Fritz is there, hitting Elena with enough force to send her flying across the hall. She crashes into a pillar hard enough to crack the stone. Don't touch her. Fritz stands between Scarlet and Elena, his body radiating menace. But Scarlet can see what the others might miss. Fritz is breathing hard. There's blood on his lip, dark and glistening. Darius is stronger, and 400 years of rule have made him a warrior while Fritz slept. Elena rises, laughing. Oh, this is perfect. You're weak, Fritz. 400 years in stasis and you haven't recovered? You're powerful, but not battle-ready. Darius and I have had centuries to hone our abilities. I'll dust off my dress. This will be easier than I thought. Darius appears beside her, not even winded. I'll make it quick, brother. More mercy than you deserve. The gathered vampires who came to support Fritz look uncertain now. I can feel their doubt, their fear. They're outnumbered and their king is weaker than his enemy. They're going to lose. The thought crashes through Scarlet with terrible certainty. Fritz will die, and she'll be dragged before Darius to be executed, as all truth-seers are. Everything will have been for nothing. Unless... Scarlet remembers what Fritz said in the cave, about the bond between truth-seers and Sanguis rulers, about shared essence. She remembers the warmth that flooded through her when Fritz healed her wound, the way his touch sent electricity racing down her spine, the connection she felt, instant and inexplicable. Fritz, she calls out. He glances back, just for a moment. In that moment, Scarlet makes her choice. She pulls the small knife from her belt, the one she uses for cutting bandages and trimming rope. Before she can second-guess herself, she slashes it across her palm. Blood wells up, bright red against her pale skin. The blood bond. We need to complete it. Fritz's eyes widen. Scarlet, no, you don't understand what that means. I understand enough. She crosses to him, holding out her bleeding palm. You said truth-seers were partners to Sanguis rulers, that we shared power. So share with me. Let me help you.
The bond will change you, Fritz says desperately. You'll become fully Sanguis. You'll live for centuries. You'll never be fully human again. I was never fully human to begin with. Scarlet takes his hand, presses her bleeding palm against the wound on his shoulder where the silver burned deepest. where his flesh is still raw and exposed. And I didn't save you just to lose you now. Their blood mingles. The world explodes. Pain. Scarlet has known pain before. The arrow through her shoulder, the freezing cold of the blizzard, the grief of losing her father and the entire caravan in one bloody moment. This is different. This is being unmade and remade simultaneously. Her blood meets Fritz's, and something ancient wakes inside her, something that's been sleeping since her grandmother died. It rises through her body like fire, burning away what she was and leaving something new in its place. She can feel Fritz in her mind, in her soul, in every cell of her body. Can feel his shock, his fear for her, his desperate attempt to pull away before it's too late. But it's already too late. The bond snaps into place like a key turning in a lock that was made for it, and only it. Scarlet's consciousness explodes outward. She's no longer just herself. She's Fritz, too, feeling his 400 years of isolation, his rage at his brother's betrayal, his terror at what he's becoming. She's every vampire in the ruined hall, their hopes and fears crashing through her like waves. And more than that, she sees truth. Not just small truths, but truth with a capital T, the kind that shapes reality. She sees every lie that's ever been told in this place, every betrayal, every secret. They flood her mind in a torrent that threatens to drown her. But truth-seers were made for this, built for it. The gift her grandmother gave her life to preserve clicks fully into place. And Scarlet understands. This is what she was meant to be. This is what truth-seers do. They see, they know, and they speak. Scarlet opens her eyes. The world looks different now. Every vampire glows with a faint light, life essence made visible. Fritz burns brightest, his power enormous, but not battle-ready, just as Elena said. Darius glows too, but there's something wrong with his light. It flickers, unstable, as if something is interfering with it. And Elena's light is dim, constrained. Wrapped in chains Scarlet can actually see now. Chains made of blood magic and compulsion. She's awakening. Stop her, Darius snarls. But Fritz is already moving, placing himself between Scarlet and any threat. The bond between them thrums with power, and Scarlet realizes she can feel his strength as if it's her own, can feed him her newly awakened energy in return. They're connected, balanced, complete. Scarlet, Fritz says, his voice tight with barely controlled emotion. Can you stand? I can do more than stand. Scarlet rises, and power rises with her. The marks on Fritz's skin glow bright, responding to her presence. I can see, Fritz. I can see everything. She turns to face the assembled vampires, and her voice, when she speaks, carries weight, carries truth. Darius Del Mastro is not who he claims to be. Silence her, Darius lunges forward. Elena moves to intercept Fritz, but Fritz is stronger now, fed by Scarlet's energy through their bond. He catches Elena's wrist and twists, sending her stumbling. Speak, he tells Fritz. Let them hear. Scarlet takes a breath, and when she exhales, truth pours out. Not just words, but something more fundamental. The truth-seer gift allows others to feel the reality of what she speaks, to know its truth in their bones. Elena didn't betray Fritz for power. She was compelled. Darius discovered an ancient blood curse that lets him control anyone he's shared blood with.
He's been systematically controlling Elena for 400 years. Elena makes a sound like a sob. Tears stream down her face. I tried, she whispers. For centuries, I tried to fight him. Darius's expression shifts from rage to calculation. Lies. She's half awakened at best. She doesn't know. I know more than you want me to know. Scarlet interrupts. Her gift digs deeper, peeling back layers of deception. I know you're not actually Fritz's brother. You're a changeling, a creature from the shadow realm that replaced the real Darius as a child. You've been planning this for over 400 years. The gathered vampires gasp. Fritz goes very still beside her.
Hi everyone, Katie here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Click the end card to watch the next episode in the series. See you next time.